one way to understand worldviews is to compare them. And so if you look at the survival-based worldview, the perception of life is that the world is dangerous. Everything exhibits danger and fear. The operating principle in this particular worldview is one where force is right. The relationship tends to be duality, them and us, them and us. The ultimate purpose is to survive, it's to control, it's to enable individuals and situations to be managed, controlled, and manipulated within the worldview of this particular survival mode. And the decision making operation or mode of decision making tends to be pretty authoritarian. So within the survival worldview, you have the world that is dangerous, force is right, it's a dualism, them and us, the ideal ultimate purpose is to survive and to control, and the decision making is authoritarian. If we compare this with the identity-based worldview, in this one, the world is not just dangerous, but it's also a jungle. Therefore, one needs to identify themselves within this matrix in the world. The operation principle is survival of the fittest. The mode of relationship is individualistic. The ultimate purpose is to win. And the mode of decision making is one which is adversarial. In other words, it's conflict based. Both the survival based worldview and the identity based worldview are conflict based worldviews. They are worldviews which are seeped in duality, something known as dubda within the Gurmat worldview. So within Gurmat, how does a Gurmat centered worldview appear? Well, the world is not dangerous in this, the world is not a jungle, but all existence is one, and the world is a place which is known as Dharamsal, a place to learn your lesson, a place to develop contentment, a place to develop compassion, and a place to develop your ethical principles, a place for you to identify who you are. Over and above the mental prism of our worldview, going beyond our thoughts, going beyond our emotions and our sensations, right down to awareness and consciousness. So in the Gurmat worldview, the world isn't a jungle, the world isn't dangerous, but it is whole and one. The operational principle tends to be unity in diversity, that anek fir ek fir anek. Out of one there are millions, or infinite, and out of infinite there is only one. So this worldview emphasizes that our unity and our diversity are just two parts of the same coin. The mode of relationships tends to be on transparency, truth, and justice. The ultimate purpose is to create unity, harmony, and develop an individual and thus a society that is not just caring and nurturing for themselves, but caring and nurturing for all that's around. Now, if the worldview is about survival and identity, then nature is also seen as the other. Whereas within the Gurmat worldview, Kudrat is part and parcel of your whole environment. So it is not something that is separated from you, but something that you are part and parcel of. And the mode of decision making here is neither authoritarian nor adversarial, but consultative and integrative. In other words, sitting together, in other words, coming to a common understanding which can be taken forward as a consensual view rather than a them and us. So as you can see, the Gurmat worldview is significantly different from the survival and the identity worldviews. Unfortunately, since the last 200-300 years, as a result of the encounter with the colonial rulers of India, what has happened to the Gurmat worldview, which was a way of life, a way of living, a way of being, was then created into a religion, and this religion was given the name Sikhism. And it's important to recognize that it is an ism and does not hold the same status from those who categorized it as an ism. Therefore, what has happened over the last couple of hundred years is that what was a way of being has increasingly become something that is now based and wrapped around religiosity or religion, and religion is wrapped up in survival and identity. And there seems to be very little room within this worldview where survival and identity are predominant, where there can be unity in diversity, where truth and justice and transparency can prevail.